And welcome back to Hannity. Now, although there is cold, hard evidence that the so-called knockout game is spreading across the country and turning fatal in certain cases, well, the left-wing media is not only saying the trend is a myth, but also accusing me of being a, quote, knockout truther. Now, take a look at this, a Slate.com article entitled, "Sorry, Right-Wing Media, the Knockout Game is a Myth." It has my picture on it with the caption, "Sean Hannity, Knockout Truther." Now, despite the 27 documented incidents that have occurred in 10 states, coast to coast, with 6 of them resulting in death, there are some news organizations across the country calling these incidents an urban myth. For example, the LA Times writes, quote, "Blurring reality stokes fears, raises ratings. Media conservatives have reported on a surge in anti-white violence by black perpetrators dubbed the knockout game. Fact is, it's a myth." And the Daily Beast article on the topic calls the knockout game, quote, "America's latest phony panic." All right, here to debate the truth about the knockout assaults are Fox News legal analyst Peter Johnson Jr., Fox News contributor Jacques DeGraff, and former NYPD detective and a Fox News contributor, Bo Dietl. Is it truth? I have a list right here, and I can take you. And by the way, the mayor of Philadelphia, he says these attacks will not be tolerated.
Michael Nutter.
Michael Nutter.
Yep. Let me tell you, last week we did the show on it. Sean, I was besieged with Twitter emails. We talked about it last week. I said, why is it being suppressed? Say it what it is. It's young black youths assaulting white females and white males. Now, Thursday night after I left, I did your show on Wednesday. I went to the Grand Havana up here, and I run into my friend Al Sharpton.
That's a big cigar.
Yeah, I run into Al Sharpton. He comes up there, and he's a friend of mine 40 years. Whatever his politics are, we're always opposite. I went up behind him, and he didn't know I was there, and I was going to, trying to give him a fake punch. And I said, no, he's so skinny. He lost a lot of weight. I said, Al, why aren't you opening your mouth about this? Now's the time to bring people together to show it's not about one race. This is a racist act that's going on. You should do it. He goes, Bo, you want to come on my show on Friday? I said, I'll come on your show. I'll talk about it, Al. I called him twice. I didn't go on the show. But the big but is, after that, he came on the Huffington Post. Al Sharpton wrote, "The knockout game is an alarming trend that is deplorable, reprehensible, and inexcusable." And he said, "This behavior is racist, period." Al Sharpton. Kudos to him. We're always taking him down. You know what I'm saying, Sean?
No, he's right. As is the mayor of Philly is right, Jacques. Do you agree? You see this? I mean, we have the videos. We're showing one after another.
Whether you have videos or not, we agree that these are hateful actions. They're violent. They're criminals, and they ought to be locked up.
It's not a myth. It's real.
Those 27 incidents that you point about that have not been made up.
I've got a whole list right here.
That's not in dispute.
All right, but it is a real phenomenon. You're not disputing that. So me being called a knockout truther is a crock.
Those things are not in dispute. Now, if you want to go past that, then there's some room for discussion. But at the end of the day, reasonable people condemn those acts.
But this is a phenomenon. This is a designed, quote, game to hurt innocent people. You acknowledge that.
Yes.
Peter.
It's a big phenomenon. And for these outlets to say that you're a truther or that Greta Van Susteren or me, because I talked about this after you did as well, that somehow we're truthers. This is a phenomenon that's occurring in this country. The mainstream media are cowards on this particular subject. They do not want to take it on. And you've taken it on.
Sean, you know...
By the way, Reverend Al, I did see his statement, and I wish he came out earlier. Well, but he came out, and he said if this were happening to black children, we would speak out. And then he was speaking out here.
But frankly, who cares what Reverend Al says about it? Reverend Al has never been able to prevent any violence in New York City at any time. I don't care what Reverend Al says.
I need him to speak out when something is wrong.
Why?
If he wants to be a leader of people, you have to speak out.
He's already a leader.
When has he ever prevented violence in the city?
No, the point is,
he's never prevented violence in the city. And so why do you care if he speaks out on it?
Well, I care when somebody does. When I ask him to do something and he comes out with this, I respect people that step up to the plate. He went against the Los Angeles Times. He said the words, he used those big words, and he said,
but here's the point.
What it is.
There has been an effort to, as Peter was suggesting, to not call this for what it is, which is it has been and continues to be racial. And it also, if you read Thomas Sowell's column, there also seems to be an increased number of attacks on people that are Jewish, especially in New York, anti-Semitic. So why can't we just call it for what it is? It's a racial and religious hate crime.
So I'm saying there is bigotry at the heart of it, but there's some other elements that are going on. The prism of the internet magnifies things, and there was uncertainty. The police commissioner of New York said he was uncertain whether this was a trend.
But Reverend, we've had 8 incidents in 1 month in one neighborhood.
Random assaults in one neighborhood. Random assaults have occurred in urban areas.
What I worry about is
black people.
One second. This is happening.
How is that random?
This is happening to 12-year-olds, 80-year-old women are getting attacked.
I'm not disputing that these attacks took place. What I'm simply
saying, racial?
Reverend, what I worry
yes,
about,
and I said that. But what I said is the other thing is this: they are random in that they were not planned. They were spontaneous.
You know what?
Peter, they're spontaneous.
They're spontaneous.
Well, what's the spontaneity? What's the motivating trigger? No, wait. Is it, but you said the heart of it is bigotry.
Yes.
Is bigotry the motivating factor when a young man who happens to be black goes up to a young woman who happens to be white? Is bigotry the factor?
Evidently.
What I really worry about is the copycat. Kids watching them punch somebody in the face and go down. And the copycats, if you don't nip it in the bud, and if you don't through the news media, let people know what's going on. This way, if you're walking by a gang of kids or something like that, you could protect yourself a little bit. But if you don't let people know what's going on,
absolutely
you become
important.
a victim.
The racial component, in my mind, in terms of public safety, is the least important. The press, through Sean Hannity and others, has the opportunity and the obligation to tell people what's going on.
Let me give the mayor of Philly and the police commissioner of Philadelphia. They're going to prosecute to the full extent of the law. They're going to track down every person for doing this. That ought to be in every city. And I don't see this happening all over the country because there's been an unwillingness to acknowledge it.
Well, I don't know that the lack of prosecution is happening. I do know that there are angry, alienated youth in our cities. And after you get past the ones who take these criminal acts, the question is what happens to those who are victims of health disparities,
You got to raise it up and make it a biased crime. It's a hate crime.
It's already a biased crime.
It's a hate crime. You got a higher level there. Bring it up there. I love this mayor of Philadelphia. He stepped up with that.
What are you going to do about the causes of these crimes?
Yeah,
what do you mean? What causes it except hate and evil? And a lack of a conscience and a soul, for crying out loud.
We're condemning those who've done these acts, but there is anger and alienation.
Why are you justifying what is it?
I'm not justifying it.
You sound like you want to justify it.
What I am saying is that there are other young people in our community who are angry and alienated.
Go punch somebody in the face.
No, they have not done that. That's my point. That's my point. I'm not talking about you.
All right, we got to break.
In 2008, I lost money. I'm going to punch somebody in the face.
That's not the issue.
When we come back, thank you guys.